Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Boozer here. Today's video I want to talk about this guaranteed event for Seer. I know it's just about to end, but it doesn't really matter because I just want to bring some attention to it that maybe some people aren't fully aware. So let's just quickly talk about this really quick. We have a current 40 Void Shard guaranteed champion for Seer. Seer is arguably the best or one of the best Void epics in the game. Some would consider it a legendary at some point, and it would have been perfectly fine. Seer is used in various dungeon wave clearing teams. She's been used in that wave for many years, and highly sought after champion. Definitely speed up all your teams, all that stuff, all that good stuff. Is she worth 40? Absolutely, she's worth 40. So I just went through like a quick list. This is Iomi Love. For the Void Epic champions that were released in the past. We had Ursula for 15, we had Madame Sears for 30, Shamael for 25, Godseeker for 25, White Dryad Niet for 30, a Kentum for 40, and then Demitha for 25, Godseeker for 25 again, a Kentum for 30, and then Nia for 30 again. It's kind of weird that they do these repeats of these epics, which is kind of weird, but as you can clearly see, it seems like 40 void shards is the cap, is the maximum they'll ask for a guarantee epic, and Seer is definitely 100% way more worth it than a champion like a Kentum, for example. So she's probably going to be upper, like the top tier of what Plarium would probably ask for a void epic, so that's kind of good to know until they release some stronger void epics. But that's not really what I want to talk about right now. I want to talk about how this is likely a signal that Plarium either has some big plans in the future for something even stronger than Seer, or possibly a future release for Seer, or how Plarium possibly has plans for more of these very high tier epic or legendary champions for a very quick type of event. So these 100% capitalize on people's inability to save shards or their likelihood that they will not have shards. So it is very likely that people don't have 40 void shards very often. For a new player, that's very difficult. For a late game player, you can argue that an epic is not that important. So I think the thing that will happen soon is that Plarium will probably start releasing some better void legendaries for higher prices, maybe in this kind of flash style where it's only 24 hours. So if I was a brand new player, I would love to have Seer. Some people who have been playing the game 2, 3, 4 years have never gotten Seer. So if you're one of those people and you saw this guaranteed event today and you didn't have 40 void shards, I'm probably betting that you would either uninstall the game because you don't have 40 void shards and you don't want to spend money on the game, or you probably went out and bought 40 void shards to get your Seer. And I don't think anyone would blame you either way. But if I was a brand new or new player and I didn't have 40 void shards, how would I get 40 void shards? I go through my shop and I don't know. I would probably buy 4 void shards. I can only buy one of these packs and I wouldn't have any packs available to buy. So I would be pretty out of luck to get that, and there would have been nothing for me to buy. I would have to buy this one for 2. Like, there's literally nothing I could buy to get 40 void shards. I will say there was, I believe, a void pack, a couple void packs here from the standard and premium bundle that would have allowed me to get, I believe, 40 void shards, but they definitely weren't cheap and I would definitely have to buy them all up. So in that case, I would just buy them all up. So I think Plarium here is kind of doing like a test. They're testing the consumer's ability to get spend in a very short period of time for a champion that basically you 100% want if you don't have. So they're definitely testing the upper I guess threshold of what people, of the allowance of people spending and their tolerance of spending, because you could argue that if you're not going for Seer, you're probably, you're probably not done, like either fully free to play and you're fully committed to it, or you're probably like not super serious about the game, and you probably wouldn't be like a heavy spender anyways. If you're a heavy spender and you don't have Seer, you would definitely spend for Seer today. So they're definitely testing that tolerance. So I think they're setting up for a much bigger event in the future, for maybe a Void Legendary. And I think they're definitely gauging that because, yeah, and they're trying to set a price and set the parameters to get the player base to spend money. So that's kind of like, I guess this is like a small warning, but also like when Plarium actually showed Seer, I was kind of concerned that if they're giving away like a champion of this level, that maybe they feel like the game's losing some money making value, because a lot of people do hunt for Seer and maybe they pull during 10x Seers and all that stuff and they're not able to get it, and we know how valuable she is, but for you to get it from a guarantee, it definitely shortens the runway for earning for Plarium. So it's kind of concerning. Maybe they feel like, the game's going down, or the earning potential is going down, so let's get the maximum right now, cash out on Seer right now. So anyways, that's a little bit of speculation on my end, but personally I think they're going to come up with a Void Legendary that, maybe would be much higher, like a better tier of Void Legendary relative to the old ones that we had. So for example, here, our last Void Legendary that they got was Supreme KO for 110. We got Chagar for 110, Alo for 110, Fortis and Turbo for 80. Turbo was the last one that I participated in. The other ones I just skipped because they're not really worth it. Riho with 90 I thought was quite worth it at that time. This was the first one. So I feel like they're definitely going to step it up on the tier of Legendary being offered. And I was just like looking through some of the champions that potentially they could offer. I don't think they would give Baron. Baron would be the likely candidate from Bannerlords, but I don't think they would do that. I don't think there's anything here in High Elves that they would do. Sacred Order, I mean, maybe Venus. You could even argue Cardio, I guess. Cardio would be a very nice prize, maybe at 150 Void Shards. And I'm sure some people would go for him. He's not meta breaking, but he's definitely a very nice champion. Tuhanarok would be the same kind of champion, very nice champion. And I could see her being getting a good price, maybe 140, 150 as well. Definitely they wouldn't give out Grazul here. Sulfurion I kind of like as well, but I don't know if I would pay 150 for him. I mean, he's an excellent champion. His kit is awesome for Hydra, but if they were to up the price on Voids and a new tier of Voids, I don't know if I would pay 150 for him. Leo would be interesting too if they ever decide to give him up for a guarantee. But if we're talking the next tier of Void Legendaries, Leo might be in that next tier. He's like meta enough that people might go for him. And these champions, I don't think people would go for at a super high price. It has to be like generic enough that people would go for, but also strong enough that the whales would go for. Here, there's kind of nothing. Night Rev, I've always looked at like Hegemon, because Hegemon's so out of the meta right now, but Hegemon is so unique that he could be good at any moment. But I don't know if he would fetch a super high price right now. His stock is would be really low at this point. Georgia would be too meta right now to give away for a guaranteed price. Here they would never give away a Crizia. Tormund's been giving away a bunch already. Shadowkin never, like Yumiko never. like these other ones are just kind of whatever. They maybe Susan the Valorious, I guess, but I don't know if her stock is very high. I did a play test on her and I couldn't find a good way to use her, to be honest. Her kit not realized potential at this point. Sylvan Watcher, they already did ALO. He went for 110, and then these other ones, there's nothing here. So from the list, there's actually not too many that kind of fit the bill of next tier level Void Legendary that they might be like, you know, sizing up for the community. But I think as a precaution, like for the future, I think we probably need to start saving some Void Shards just to be extra safe. I mean, I'm saving my Void Shards anyways because I'm only pulling for meta champions during some events like 10x events or whatever. I'm not even close to Mercy, so that's also something that I'm not gonna, you know, I basically play with as well, and I try to use to my advantage. So you can clearly see I don't really have too many shards. Actually, I do have decent amount of shards. Not too many ancient shards, but that's okay. But yeah, definitely consider saving some Void Shards. It's hard for early game, I totally understand. And for early game, I don't think I would save Void Shards anyways. So that's why like the Seer is such a guaranteed, you know, it's guaranteed open your wallet event for Plarium. But anyways, just my quick thoughts on everything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some of my comments. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.